Keep your home comfortable, efficient, and looking great with new windows from Green Energy. We only provide the highest quality, most energy-efficient windows available with the lowest installation costs in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. Green Energy windows have the highest efficiency rating, designed to lower your energy bills. Bring us your estimate from any competitor, and we promise to beat it with a window of equal quality. Call or visit greenenergyllcwindows.com and learn why so many homeowners are choosing Green Energy.
Welcome to the show. So glad you are back. We're so glad to be back. Allison's on the way down. We got some things we're adjusting here. I'm so excited because Karl with the K is back with the trivia. If you've not witnessed him in 2025, he is a maven of trivia. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Karl with the K standing by. What's going on, Karl with the K?
Hey, how's it going, Mark? Missed you guys.
I know, man.
Happy New Year.
2025. Is 2025 different than you expected already?
Actually, no. I think the big thing is just witnessing some of the things that's happening these days. But, after November 6th, I just knew it was coming. So
you said it is what you thought it would be.
It is what I thought it would be. Yes.
Well,
it's actually worse than I thought it would be. I didn't think it would. I didn't think I'd hear so many voices I should be hearing right now.
Well, look, you know what? We're gonna get through this thing, Karl. We're gonna be
Definitely
positive and get through this thing. And again, if you have not witnessed Karl with the K, Karl is here, and we kick things off usually with trivia.
Mm-hmm.
And Allison is on her way down. Before we get started, Karl, I want to thank our new sponsor. Shout out to our gold sponsors, Green Energy Windows and Doors. Say Allison and Marc, give them a call and get a discount. Their number is 301-873-1773. A shout out to Brendan and the crew. He's a young man, Karl. He's in his 30s, but he's been in business for 16 years.
What?
He only does the best windows and doors. It's the Amish construction. So if you are a homeowner, Brendan said he liked Allison and Marc, the podcast, because we talked to the grown folks. He's absolutely right. We are grown. We are homeowners.
Exactly.
We are seasoned. And again, we know the importance of windows and doors. I mean, windows, doors, and roofs. Come on now. Homeowners, make some noise.
So is it with the green? Is he green also?
He's also green.
Okay.
Green. I really loved hanging out with him because he even though he's a young man, I call him an old soul. And to be honest, in business, he's anytime you meet a business person that loves to close, loves to sell,
mm-hmm.
that tells you that guy's going to be successful, because he said it started when he was like in college and actually in high school. And so he's grown into, again, this amazing business. And again, give him a call and take advantage of the discount. So, Karl, what's going on? Allison's going to join us so we can get started.
Not a problem, but I have to say something. It's been a minute. Have you lost a few pounds?
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I have. It's funny. It kind of, Karl, you know, for real, I've been on this journey forever. I've known Karl for like 20 years. So Karl it's like Luther. Karl has seen Big Marc and Little Marc. And so, Karl, you're right. This one snuck up on me because I did the weight loss surgery in 2021, and I lost about 100 pounds. And then, after that, I kind of did the thing that happens with a lot of people. You do the weight loss surgery and there's an adjustment, and then you kind of creep back into your old bad habits. And so, Karl, what I did starting in last year, I started off vegan. And so from January to June, I was vegan.
Wow. And
it was a challenge. But then after, in June, I did the keto. I switched to keto, which, is very low carb, low sugar. And Karl, that one was my natural. That felt, I've done it before. Like, I've done everything, but this is the first time I got an app and I actually really did commit myself to it. And yeah, man, it really has been effective for me. Now again, I'm not suggesting it for anybody, because the thing I just realized was the keto, which is low in carbs. What I realized though, Karl, was, after having the sleeve operation, you really can't do a lot of fat. And so I was doing more fat than I probably should have been doing, because it really ends up being more protein and more fat than you normally would do. And so I kind of learned the hard way that, I learned the hard way that you gotta be careful. But at the end of the day, yes, I have probably added on another 40, 50 pounds. So probably a total from my 372, I'm 240. So yes, quite a significant loss. And but again, it crept up on me. So between June and now, I've lost like 50 pounds, and it just kind of crept up on me. But yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Things are good. Can't complain. This is my month.
Come on now.
I have quite a few. I have a couple of the next couple of senior centers already. I have 4 virtual trivia events with 2 companies actually around the country. One's in Texas and one's in New York. We're doing it virtual. So they found me, and things are going well. I'm still at TGI Fridays on Tuesday nights for game night. We do 2 games of soul trivia, and then we do a game of music bingo.
And where is this, Karl? Where are you?
This is the TGI Fridays in Owings Mills.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
And then the other things you said, the virtual ones are across the country. So Karl, branching out.
Google works, and I didn't spend no money on them either. So if you're a small business, you don't have to spend a lot of money.
I love it. The thing about trivia, Karl, it's almost like, trivia / history is, I think we're at a certain age where, for the most part, I'm usually aware of something, but then something will come and hit you and you'll be like, I had no idea. I had no idea. I just posted this one on my Instagram where they talked about that in 1844, basically they had like banned black folks in Oregon.
I saw that, yeah.
And the thing about it, Karl, that's so interesting about us people who are, I guess, 45 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, is a lot of these things are like, we have a innate understanding because of our age and probably how we were raised. And even you look at comments like phrases and things like that you've heard your whole life, but really never had you didn't necessarily know that next step. And that one, to be honest, as someone whose grandfather was a historian and a printer and had his own newspaper, I think I came across a lot of information, but that one I really did not know. And I was like, wow, just like I think there's a lot of being a Northerner, being raised in the Midwest, I think you always felt like there's a certain, the North wasn't as racist, if you will, as
that myth.
But I was just listening to Randy Newman, and again, these things, understanding satire now better than I did as a youngster, really had me on this Randy Newman thing, right? And one of his classic songs actually is the song Rednecks. I think the song is Rednecks.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Short People, because that was another one.
Short People is another one, but it's satire. And, and these days, you can't really do that. People don't know how to. But Rednecks, the chorus is Rednecks is we're rednecks. We don't know our, whatever. Keeping the niggers down is one of the end of the phrase, right? And of course, it's satire,
right? And
one of the lines he says is the North is free to, and then it talks about basically free to put black folks in prison, and then free to build jails in East St. Louis, free to build jails in Chicago, free to be, and it's so interesting. I was like, I'm hearing it differently because I'm a different age and I've lived long enough. But anyway,
well, it's interesting you say something like that, because I just watched A Night in Miami with and they were talking, and Sam Cooke, how he was envious of Bob Dylan, for the songs and the way that he was wording his songs. Sam Cooke is playing these, being the Mr. Crooner, and this white boy is laying down what's happening in a very lyrical, meaningful way.
Yeah.
And it woke him up.
And the commentary on what's going on in America, what was going on in America at the time.
Exactly.
And then the irony of the Sam Cooke, which the big story, of course, about his death being the scandalous death.
Right.
What was not talked about is how he had his own label and how it was stolen from underneath his nose by his manager.
Exactly.
And again, he was probably killed because of that very reason, right?
Oh,
so again, but okay, Karl, I'm sorry. I digress.
Doing this, I've been doing this since 2014, and I continuously still fall down these rabbit holes.
Yes.
I mean, I find something and I'm like, I've been spending 45 minutes on one question because I went and found 30 other questions from that one question researching it.
Yeah.
And that's that's what needs to be taught. Now it's really going to have to be taught at home.
And Allison. That's why, again, if you've not witnessed Karl before, it's the first time seeing Karl. What's up, Raymond? What's up, Jackie? This is the first time you've seen Karl. This is what Karl does. He does Karl with the K, does trivia. So what do we have? Let's start it off, and Allison's on her way. Okay, no problem. The first question, a little depressing, but I didn't realize it was that far after. Byron de la Beckwith was convicted over 30 years after assassinating which civil rights leader, activist? Was it James Chaney, James Meredith, or Emmett Till? It was... You said, I'm sorry, give me the choices. I know it, but what's the choices again? James Chaney, James Meredith, or Emmett Till? James Chaney. Ooh. I missed the names already. Down Chaney, one right? Already. James Meredith. Meredith. Wait a minute. Really? Yes. I didn't realize. Remember his wife? His wife was the one played by Whoopi Goldberg. In which movie was that? Let me see. I'm thinking. No. He did Evers. No. Evers. Medgar Evers. That's it, correct. I have it. You know what I did? I copied it. I usually have 4 answers, and I only copied 3. It should be Medgar Evers. You're all right. Yeah, okay. It was his wife. Karl, let me try to throw a curve on me now. See that it's that first day back to school jitters. That's all. No problem. All right, this one's a little bit more fun, and I just thought it was very interesting when I found this out. I didn't even realize it, but you are familiar with Michael Jordan and his tennis shoes, right? Yes. And they came out around I think 1985. Allison. Okay, there we go. So, true or false? Michael Jordan was fined every time he wore his Air Jordan 1s because the NBA had a contract with Adidas at that time. Is that true? Or, huh? That is true. Okay. They had a contract with Converse. With Converse, okay. That's what you say? You're going to stick with that, huh? That is false. Who they have a contract with? They had a contract with Nike. But the reason why he was fined is they had a strict uniform policy. Yes, the colors, right? The colors of his shoes. So they had a very strict uniform policy that required at least the sneakers to be 51% white. Wow. And also match the team's colors. But his was black and red and, violated that rule. Nike paid the fine. And, as we see today, the sneakers blew up. The tennis shoes, whatever they are, blew up. Well, it was interesting. I just saw a clip of, I was going to actually play that today. I didn't play it today because I didn't want to go on the Deion thing. Allison's not a huge fan of Deion. But I thought it was interesting. Shador was at, how they do the thing. You come and you buy the shoes. It's such a big, sneaker culture is such a big part of the young people's lives and old people's lives. Right. And it was interesting because Shador was like, they showed that red and black Air Jordan. Okay. And Shador was not familiar with it. And he said, I'm only familiar with my dad's shoe, which I thought was very interesting. Right. Yeah. Oh, trust me, doing this, I've learned a lot. We did,
normally when I'm doing a TGI Fridays, I try to make it a little bit more entertainment, movies, history, and then incorporate a lot. But being Black History Month, I was getting like more questions like this.
Yeah.
And not yesterday because of the snow, but last week I had quite a few young people there. When I say young, I mean 20s. And they repeated the same thing that I've heard in the past when I've talked to them. It was like, these are things I've heard, I just didn't know.
Mm.
So like one of the questions was, everybody knows about Brown versus Board of Education, but a lot of people don't realize, before it got to the Supreme Court, it had to start somewhere. Where did it start? What city? And that just, Topeka, Kansas. And a lot of people don't know, they know what I like to call, they know the baby, they don't know the labor.
Yeah, they do know the baby.
Right.
I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, live from the couch in the little nap, it's the Queen. Yay! The star of our
Karl.
show. Don't get it twisted. If Allison's not sitting in this seat, our viewership is not up where it needs to be. What's going on, babe?
Baby, let me sleep. And I was Karl, 5 minutes ago, knocked out on the couch upstairs. So apologize for keeping you waiting. Then I just hear bellowing through the house. Were you screaming on this podcast?
Babe!
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm a snitch. Yep, he was.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn, Karl, you ain't got my back. Way
Anyway,
back.
So sorry. Good to see you. Good to see you, Karl.
Good to see you too. I saw you were hosting an event at well, Petra, Marc.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I worked with her also. That's
okay,
cool.
Petra can sing. How can Petra sing, Karl?
No, that girl can sing, y'all.
Oh yeah, she can sing.
She's been singing for a minute. I love Petra because she's been getting her grind on for quite some time.
If you think about, a lot of us have Tarsha.
Tarsha is yes. Shout out to what's my girl? Also sounds like Denise Williams. In fact, I need to call her.
Denise Smith.
Denise, shout out to Denise Smith.
Okay.
No, not Denise. No, okay. We're doing the thing that old people do.
So he's missed 2 already. So I'm hoping he
Well, Karl, technically your first question was incorrect.
Oh yeah, right. So technically he only missed 1. Technically, so that was my fault. I had that, like I told him, back to school jitters. But this one, more than 2,000 people have served in the U.S. Senate since it was established in 1789. How many have been African American? 12, 42, or 18? Either way, all these numbers are really ridiculous out of 2,000 people.
Way too low. Yeah, I'll go with whatever the lowest is. I'll go with 12.
Marc?
I'm going with the Queen, 12.
Good choice. It is only 12. It was only
Allison
12.
Is the
and you got to remember, and we just added one this past year from Maryland.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you have, I'll list them off real quick from now till the beginning. Lisa Blunt, Rochester. Angela also Brooks. LaFonza Butler, and I apologize that I don't have the cities and states the states they represent.
I know Carolyn Mosley Brown. Carolyn Mosley Brown. Was she one?
I think that is New York. I think she's New York.
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Okay. And then of course Raphael Warnock as Georgia. Kamala Harris, Cory Booker from my home state, Jersey. William Cohen, Tim Scott. Roland Burris.
Why'd you laugh when you said Tim Scott?
Because he looking for a job.
Gotcha.
Massa ain't let him in the house.
Yeah.
Massa Musk ain't let him in the house.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. This is live, isn't it?
Hey, be careful there. I'm joking. We're okay.
Barack Obama, Carolyn Mosley Braun, who was the first woman. Edward Brooke, Blanche K. Bruce, and Hiram Revels. Hiram Revels was actually appointed when the previous senator moved on, I think, to become a governor.
Wow.
So only 12 out of 2,000.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot more Latin ones, and I have to look that up. But of course, because you have New Mexico, you have those areas from back then.
Would you give Oh, never mind. That joke alone. Babe, I was telling Karl, did you see my post on Oregon?
No.
I didn't realize like in 1844, Oregon was basically cleansing black folks from Oregon, making it illegal to live in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
And I was telling Karl, I had a long rambling point that you missed, so I get to tell you again. Yay! No,
Okay.
joking. I was saying like people of a certain age, there's things that we kind of know, if not innately because we've been around so long. But I was thinking about how so many jokes about Oregon being so white or whatever, and then come to find out there was a reason, a legal reason.
Oh yeah,
we weren't allowed. You know,
it was a whole sundown state.
It was a whole
the whole state was redlined,
and all this history and so a lot of people. I think I've heard you say it too, babe. No wonder sometimes they want history to be hidden because it is embarrassing and it also is just terrible. It's like, you know, and so America almost wants to be like, oh, it never happened, or not acknowledging that it happened because some of it is so ridiculous that it would be hard to stomach. But that's what the play seems to be. Shout out.
Well, that's because they don't want their grandchildren, they don't want their children wondering why mama and papa were, at a hanging.
Okay, now Karl, see, there you go. Now there goes our sponsorship. Karl keeping it real with the K. Keeping it real.
I just
with the K.
You speaking of that, the history is just, it's unimaginable. I just read something and I forget what state it was, but the whole family was hanged because they paid, the father or whatever paid something in like had a $50 bill. And they just hanged the whole family because
he was too rich.
There is no way that he should have a $50 bill. So yeah. It's a really cruel history. That's why we got to know it. So we make sure we keep moving forward somehow.
Exactly. And forgetting it and pushing it under the rug only makes it, bubble up.
Well, Karl, and again, we'll move on, Karl, because we don't want to kill our viewership. But
I'm good.
Okay. So Karl, like, you're a man who knows a lot of history. You have a game around history, and you do trivia that celebrates not only history but other things. So now, Karl, at this point in the world, you become almost more of a teacher and more valuable than you ever knew, probably. So how do you take on that role? Do you feel a stronger responsibility, and how do you feel comfortable with that responsibility? Because you've worked in corporate America for quite some time.
Yes.
And so now it's kind of taken a different turn. What are your thoughts? And then we'll let you go, Karl, because again, we have to get back to the silly.
It really doesn't really hit. To me, it's fun. When I'm doing it, when I'm looking it up, I mean, that's the work part. But when I'm presenting it to me, it just makes me feel good, especially when someone tells me that they didn't know that or that was interesting. And this is like, it's really interesting when I do senior centers, because you're talking about us, our age, they lived it.
Yeah.
And then when I'm doing trivia and I'm talking about questions and they're like, I remember that, but I didn't realize that type of thing.
Yes.
That's so to your question, that's when it hits me. It's like, oh, wow, I actually was influencing, I guess is the word, somebody, it was like impactful.
Impact.
Karl, and that was the thing. That was the thing that was kind of, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that.
Do you have any fears, Karl? You worked in corporate America before. Do you have any fears where looking at it and saying, oh, he put you in a box of, oh, this guy is kind of dangerous because he's pushing all this information. He's an information pusher.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. No, I guess I need to start watching what I say now, Marc. I
Just
never
something to think about, Karl.
You know what? It's one of those things that it never entered my head that a third, fourth party might be. Now over the years, I have gotten some emails, or some comments on my Facebook page, well, what if we did Wednesday? Like when I say it was Tuesday, Black History Tuesday, like what if we did White History Wednesday? And I typed back, said, they do. It's called Trivia Night.
And with that, Karl, you'll never be on this show again. You're too dangerous, Karl. We're sorry. It's been fun. It's been fun, Karl, but thanks. No, I'm joking.
It ain't my fault. I grew up in Newark. I lived in D.C. I mean, now I'm in Baltimore.
Yeah, you're right.
I understand.
You understand?
I understand.
Well, Karl, is that it for us?
That's it right now.
Where can people reach you? How can they reach you? And where are you going to be Tuesday? And you say, go ahead.
Every Tuesday at 7, I'm at the TGI Fridays in Owings Mills. You can reach me at blacktrivianetwork.com or Karl with a K bingo.com. So I do music bingo as well, because I have to diversify my hustles, because if the man comes after me for soul trivia, I need to do something else.
That's
The
right.
The man. Well, Karl, we appreciate you. I can't wait for us to do an event together in 2025. We're going to do it, damn it.
Definitely.
Yes.
Looking
Looking forward to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Karl with a K.
Thank you, Karl.
Thanks, Karl.
All right. Have a great show.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me.
And again, welcome to the show. Babe, I know you don't like the lights. I'm
just so
experimenting over
sorry,
here.
everybody. Yeah, and it's okay.
Is it okay?
All right, yeah.
All right. Well, welcome out. Welcome, Allison.
Mhm.
We had a lot of things going on. This week. Our review. So Super Bowl, I think, was a big play. I think you want to give your thoughts on the Super Bowl, and I'll go after you.
Okay. Well, I really enjoyed it. I was really I was actually rooting for the Eagles to win. Like, I was rooting for the Eagles to win because since they beat the Commanders, I wanted somebody from the East. I got to stay in the NFC, right? So, and then just the thought of like Jalen Hurts with his all-female crew behind him, like, just I love the fact that he's representing. Plus, he's an Omega, I'm a Delta. I love all that too, and just I was excited about it. There was some sentimentality about my man homie winning like a three-peat, because I like history people. But yeah, I was really glad about it. And then that halftime show. That halftime show was like when just like with Karl, when you're sitting there and somebody's talking about Black history, and it's like a room full of like non-Black people, and you're just kind of like, ooh, what is going on? From Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam, and the whole imagery with, and saying a part of it was like, no, get in line. That's too ghetto. What you're doing with Kendrick Lamar. We know how deep he is. So yeah, it was like, okay, they're really going there. The interesting thing with that, though, you could tell people wanted him to do They Not Like Us, because people, that's a catchy tune. People know it, they're ready to whatever. So there is the school of thought that's like, okay, just entertain for the masses. This is not a moment to make a statement. But then on the other hand, it's like, what bigger moment than the Super Bowl? So I enjoyed it for what it was. It's art. And I like those bell-bottom jeans Kendrick Lamar had.
Did you get some?
No, because they were like $1,400.
Well, babe, it's like a small person wearing bell-bottoms. It worked.
Did you hear me what I said?
Yeah.
They're designer jeans. Don't think you can just pull this look off. They're from Celine, I think. And they were sold out the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So shout out to everybody joining in. Again, Allison, people are glad to see you're here.
Hi,
Divya. I love this picture, Lewis Brown. I love that picture. Look at that, then a little kiss. I love that. And thank you, Lewis. Good seeing you. LinkedIn user, thank you. They gave us some love on the interview with Karl. I love that. And Jackie, I love Jackie's picture. Look at Jackie's picture. She got the hair and the pop.
Like
See, having
lip.
girls, I know that lip pop thing is important, but I've learned that it's not, so just say that to friends and don't say it to people you don't know, because you never know. And so the Kendrick, I'm learning. I know, you know what? I'm so learning.
Yeah.
I'm watching. Anyway, I'm so learning. But let me go back to my football thing. I think exactly, babe. I think there are kind of like a couple different philosophies. I think you and I are definitely fit into open to a philosophical, open to art. I think some people just want to be entertained. So the Super Bowl thing for them, they didn't get it. They didn't want to get it. They just want to be entertained. Other people, I'm down. So when I look at art, I'm like this. I may not get it at the time, but I encourage art. That's my motto.
There was a lot of take away the political statements, take away whatever. A lot of people saying, Gen X is at home like, what did he say? I can't understand. What did he say?
Well, like you say, but like you say, I think it's funny because I think it's some.
Yeah.
Because some of us are, well, as a child who was dragged to Howard to see Burn Baby Burn.
He's getting all kinds of stories mixed up. But
I'm saying you're somebody who grew up in an artistic household. So art, for a lot of times, it's not, it may take a minute to unravel what it's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and you may not even at the time understand what's going on. But you were raised with that, so you're open to that. I was not as raised with it as much as you were, but as an artist, as a kid, I grew up in that world, and so I was at the performance art classes, and I was in jazz band, and I was this and that when I was in 6th and 7th grade. So for me, I'm much more open and receptive.
Did you want to see it at the Super Bowl? Well, let's talk about what it was.
Yes.
So
I'm never looking at something and I just want to be entertained.
Okay.
I'm always going to go.
Do you think that moment?
If you go for a bigger.
Okay.
If you're going for what Kendrick Lamar did, number one, I loved it because the country is at a point where I think it needed to be said and was said. I think you're in a situation where those kind of freedoms to have that may be stripped away. So for me, I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
And I will always go for, I'm a huge music fan. I'm a huge art fan. So I think anytime somebody does those two things, I'm going to be open and receptive to it. So for me, I absolutely loved it.
Well, it was the most, Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show was the most viewed halftime show in the history of the Super Bowl, at 133 million people tuning in. So, whatever you thought or whatever, bottom line is, it was the most watched.
Yeah, and some people didn't get it, and that's okay. That's okay. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as you said something, because you saw me, my like looking at Jalen Hurts and kind of really getting excited about Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And baby, that's kind of my thing. Why? I think because anytime, again, there's a story, a backstory, I'm always driven by, especially when it involves dads and sons, because I wasn't raised with my father. I think I'm probably always longing for that. So Jalen Hurts, as a young man, what I've loved about him is that he is a leader of men. He's focused. He's driven. People aren't used to this kind of personality, especially the media, because he's not smiley and he's centered and he's focused. And so I'm going to play a couple things here. These were the haters of Jalen Hurts. If those who don't know, now he got with him. I think our rapper Mike.
Hey, Rudy.
What did Mike say? Mike said, back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. And so this is what they thought about Jalen Hurts before he won.
On Jalen Hurts is, I don't think he's a franchise quarterback.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is their quarterback for the future. It's a franchise quarterback that you're going to stick with and say, I'm going to go win a Super Bowl.
I love Jalen Hurts, but I'm not sure he's the quarterback of the future for this franchise.
Let me be very, very clear. Jalen Hurts is not impressive.
I respect a lot about Jalen Hurts, but I think Jalen Hurts is also like the most overrated player in football.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to lead Philadelphia or any NFL organization to a Super Bowl.
So again, all those comments.
Excuse me, what'd you say?
From those experts. This is what I'm talking about.
What?
It's like this guy, for those who don't know, in college. So and also there were comments. He made a comment about all I've been through. And somebody, somebody said something like, yeah, all you've been through. Oh, you're not the only one who got benched. Here was the thing. For those who don't know the story, Jalen Hurts at the University of Alabama was the starting quarterback, and he got benched. He lost the national championship. He got benched. He was replaced by Tua, who plays for Miami, who's an amazing player, right? He was I think Tua might have been a freshman even. He came in and Tua played better than Hurts played. And so he was benched. You go from being a starter at the best team in football, college, and being benched. That's the first chink. Then he transferred and had a great season at his new school and actually was a Heisman candidate, which again, that story got kind of muffled. So then, of course, the doubters were like, is this guy going to make it in the NFL? Sure, he's strong. Sure, he's this. Sure, he's that. So there were some who thought he didn't have what it took to get there, right? And he got there, and now he's won a Super Bowl. Now, you got our quarterback, the Ravens quarterback, Lamar, who has not won a Super Bowl, who's an amazing player. But at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts has the receipts. He has a Super Bowl.
Yes.
And his 2 performances at the Super Bowl were both good performances. He lost the first one to Patrick Mahomes. He won this one. Lamar, in theory and in he should win a Super Bowl. Let's hope he does. But the difference is Jalen Hurts has won a Super Bowl. The Washington team has an amazing quarterback who should win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But you should winning it and winning it is 2 different conversations. My man for the Buffalo Bills, same way. Josh Allen, who won the MVP this year, many think Lamar should have won. But again, he should win a Super Bowl. He ain't won one. Jalen Hurts has won a Super Bowl. And also what I like about Jalen Hurts is who he is as a person. You mentioned he's a Q. He's got a girlfriend who happens to be
a fiance
who happens to be an AKA. It's okay, right? That's
no,
okay.
I didn't know that. That's cool. It's all D9 love.
This was him. This is what he did. This is the kind of kid he was before he won the Super Bowl. When he got we're talking about his money and what he does with his money.
I really talked about this one to anybody yet, not even my parents or my sister even, just in case she needs it in the future. She's 16 now and she's gonna go to college one day. She's gonna do great things, and just in case she needs it, I have $70,000 set aside for her to go to college just in case she needs it. She plays volleyball, so she could very well get a scholarship and go play somewhere for free. My brother and I, she's the smartest without a doubt. She's in her own world when it comes to that.
That was him, before the fame and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So again, yes, I ride for a kid like that because I think we need to see more of these kind of stories. Him and his dad. His dad is a coach. Now, if he were a white quarterback, we would have been hearing about how he was raised with football. His dad's a coach. His football IQ is football IQ. They never talked about his football IQ. They never talked about his football IQ. Now they're starting to. His dad was in a coach the whole time. You know what I mean? It's like the kind of stories you have. On one hand, you this guy, Lamar's story, and same thing with Lamar's mom. Lamar's mom was like, no, I'll be your agent, and got him this massive contract. Do we talk about that? Not that much. They talk more about his gold teeth or his diamond teeth than they talk about his mom negotiating deals. So that's why. And so, yeah, I'm definitely excited about him on that. So
you just cannot help it, can you?
I can't help it. I can't help it because, it's almost like, again, man, those stories are so few and far between, and you just see how they do these players, and it's just not really fair. Okay. And so let's see, what are we talking about? Lisa says,
here's the thing. So for me, because he's proven himself, because he has shut up all the doubters and all of those people, that's the best revenge. You don't have to go out and be like, yeah, what you did was unfair and this and that, whatever.
And he doesn't.
Right. And so that's what I love about him. And the same thing about Lamar Jackson. I just feel like he's like, okay, you can talk all that if you want to, but he's got the love of the city behind him. And, people who are the fans are a diehard fan base for the Ravens. So it's okay. Like, that's what it is. You just prove yourself in these quiet, very powerful ways. So.
And babe, I don't want this to be, this is kind of like, I don't want this to be a sports show, but I wanted to just tap into, as we get ready for, the draft and the football draft, I wanted to give, again, I'm a big Deion supporter, but also this is something else that to me is just like, drives me crazy. So Deion's one of the players, Travis Hunter, who's the Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who played both sides of the ball, which no one ever does that, plays offense and defense the whole game, the whole season, for all the seasons he's played. Something that doesn't get talked about, and I just pulled it up because I was curious. Travis Hunter is not only the Heisman winner, he is an academic All-American. How many Heisman Trophy winners have been academic All-Americans? I looked it up. 3, right?
Okay.
3. Out of all the Heisman
in the history
Trophy
of the
winners,
Heisman.
3.
Okay.
Has anybody ever said that on a sports show? I don't think so. I think they talk about his girlfriend, and then we talk about our community. Why aren't we standing on that? Because here's what I love about it. He could have gone anywhere in the world, and he went to Jackson State, and then he transferred to Colorado, right? His grade point average in the fall was 4.0. In the spring, it was 3.9. I think his cumulative ended up being like 3.3 whatever. And out of all,
serious.
who had the highest grade point average of any Heisman Trophy winner ever? Travis Hunter. I ain't never heard that said on a sports show.
Right.
Tim Tebow was the other one, and another quarterback was the other one. But you know what I'm saying? You mad? You think they mentioned Tim Tebow? I'm sure they did. But for us, Travis Hunter, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it speaks to, I love the fact that, so he was getting that at HBCU, and he was getting it at a prime, PWI. So he was him, as Deion's been saying the whole time. But the world didn't know that.
Right.
And they still don't.
Well, that's why it's important to have, all kinds of voices and all kinds of journalism, including sports journalism, and people to keep pushing.
Yes.
Because, it's important to know those stories.
And also, lastly.
And that's why it's important.
So, okay, what else is going on? Oh, DEI, from a standpoint of, this is what I don't know, but we haven't had this conversation. But I'm not going to, you ain't going to find me up in DEI stores that I'm aware of. I was at a shopping mall the other day. I needed some deodorant.
Yes.
I needed some deodorant, and I was at Target, and I said, nope. I was right there in the parking lot, and right next to Target is Home Depot. Normally, if you got some time to kill, those are two. I think Target and Home Depot are two time-killing options.
Walmart too.
And Walmart. But do you think, and I was out in Prince George's County. Now, let me tell you something. Obviously, the DEI shopping wasn't stopping for a lot of people.
Right.
In either place. It was
packed.
Well, it's Blacks and Hispanics were all up in all those places. But I tell you what, you ain't going to find no Marc Clarke on Amazon. You ain't going to find me in Walmart, Sam's, Target, Home Depot. Nope. Not for me.
Yeah.
How are you approaching it?
How do y'all feel about that? How do you feel about the whole, if you're aware, social media has done a really good job of making sure that like who's on this list and that list. And of course, you're all familiar with it. But since the DEI initiatives were rolled back, some of these major corporations that you were like, okay, might not have even known had these different policies in place really at the upper level to make sure that there was diversity and inclusion, that they just sort of rolled it back, right? So just for me, it was the whole thing was just disappointing to see, because you would just hope that this would just be, standard operating procedure at this point to make sure that there was some sort of equity at the top levels, right? So, but it's just really everywhere. You just have to make a real conscious choice if you're going to stand on all of it. And I think it's easy to do if you do, it's just easy to do. But I just think also we're just so conditioned to knowing that things are kind of stacked against women, people of color, Black people, all that kind of stuff in this society. So you just kind of like, put your head down and keep moving. But yeah, there's no reason you have to be in Target, really. If you're being honest, there's really no reason now. But it's disappointing.
Yeah.
And it's hurtful. And because you would hope that these companies would be in this space because they want it to be. But I will keep my Costco membership. That's all I'll say.
I think people don't a lot of times I don't think people really understand. Here's the thing about Americans, right? We don't understand a whole bunch of stuff. And it's not just Black folks. I think just Americans in general. Right? We don't understand how things work. Like, I don't think the average African-American doesn't understand that, the feeder system for jobs, when you have go to these conferences, recruiters go to conferences and hand out or recruit from a lot of these different conferences when they're dealing with, they need to do diversity. So a lot of times if you need to hire people of color or Hispanic people or women, whatever, they go to conferences, and a big source is they do it there. But people don't know that. And HBCUs, people don't understand that most Fortune 500 companies hire most of their people of color, most of their diversity comes from HBCUs. Most people don't know that. That's a fact.
Well, I almost don't even want you to speak the term HBCU. I'm afraid of what's going on in the future.
It's happening quickly.
Just today, just looking at it today, Comcast and NBC Universal have received an inquiry request from the FCC that they're opening an investigation into the company's diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. And the letter comes, of course, 3 weeks after this White House has started basically a war on DEI. So they'll have to, just like when we look at those the communist hearings from back in the day, you have to stand and you have to explain. And did you put this is when you think about it, it's so incredible. Did you continue with diversity, equity, and inclusion practices at your companies?
Oh yeah,
as if it is something that is to be ashamed of, shunned, anti-American, anti-patriotic, all of that. So I think that we are definitely, I cannot be too political, but definitely in really troubling times. That just came out today. So yeah.
So
they'll begin an investigation into it.
This weekend,
NBC Universal.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
It's this weekend. I'm hosting an event that I've been a part of for decades at this point, right? And one of the big things they do is have this amazing job fair. It's probably one of the best science, technology, engineering, and mathematics job fair in the country. There's actually two African-American focused, Bea and Nesby, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just talking to somebody and I was wondering, because at this conference, I'll never forget, I was going to the job fair a couple of years ago, and I saw Raytheon that has a lot of government contracts. This was one of the vendors, one of the companies. He said, I'm going to hire 150 engineers this weekend. That was one company, Raytheon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just saw this today. Military backs out of recruiting at Science and Engineering Conference as part of DEI purge. This just came down the pike 2 days ago. They were scheduled to be at this conference. They are now backing out because of that. And so
that is we need to get off of this topic before I go crazy, because that is just the thought of it becoming a term that has so politicized and so divisive. And I feel like if only these corporations or companies stood firm, this is a moment in history that they could have done that. And like, I think everybody is really praying. I mentioned Costco because they are not bowing to the pressure thus far, but you get it. You understand it, how much everything is connected to the government and the watchful eye of the government, and how you can lose whatever it is, lose whatever funding, land, other scary sort of covert things we never know about. So I understand it, but the thought that it is being demonized in these United States when we just celebrated the 60th anniversary of the signing of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. When you think that these things just happen almost in our lifetime, it's just we're at the moment. I think the moment is the pressure from an administration to turn back the hands of time in some of these in these programs that are just trying to level the playing field, that for that to be demonized. And it to me, that's the crime of it, because I think that if all of these companies stayed firm, Disney is now bowing to some of the pressure of this as well. If they could stay firm as a team, I think as a unit, right, then maybe you could say, no, we're, get out of this, because not only are we seeing federal workers sort of being in these uncertain times in the government, but now you have the private sector too. So what's next? And if you just stand by and let it happen, what about when they come knocking on your door? So it's just, I just need to before my head explodes.
We're gonna take a quick break. Our sponsor's going to take a quick break, 30 seconds.
Let us know how you feel. Let us know.
That's right.
Keep your home comfortable, efficient, and looking great with new windows from Green Energy. We only provide the highest quality, most energy efficient windows available with the lowest installation costs in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Green Energy windows have the highest efficiency rating, designed to lower your energy bills. Bring us your estimate from any competitor, and we promise to beat it with a window of equal quality. Call or visit greenenergyllcwindows.com and learn why so many homeowners are choosing Green Energy.
And welcome back.
All right, I love it. Yes.
Don't forget now, if you need windows or doors, hit my people, 301-873-1773. Okay, call them now. Look, so babe, the Valentine's Day weekend is up on us.
Yes, it is. All up on us.
Now, social media, that's one thing about social media. If you're on there, what do we call it? What's it called? It's called scanning. What do you do?
The algorithm.
What do you call it when you're going up and down it?
Scrolling.
Scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
When you're scrolling, did you see the one about the ladies asking about where my Valentine's, and he's like, I married you, something like that. Have you seen that whole thing?
No.
So, okay.
But Valentine's Day is also a very divisive issue. Some people say it's just a made up holiday. It's a Hallmark holiday. Let us know in the comments. Do you recognize Valentine's Day, or are you one of those every day is Valentine's Day? And it is, but and it is.
So, babe, what is your take on it? Because look at Bootsy. This is an amazing discussion of someone who teaches future. Oof. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting. It's an interesting moment. This show is someone from. Oh, okay.
Hey, Dr. Brown. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So please feel free to comment on whatever you want to comment on. So, babe, for Valentine's Day, you're romantic, and I consider myself a romantic.
Okay.
wait a minute.
All right.
Wait one damn minute.
No, you
Wait
are,
a minute, babe.
You are, babe. You are. Of course you are.
Okay. Now, am I romantic? Would you say my husband's romantic?
Yes, I would. Yes. Damn.
Did you hear? Y'all saw that reaction? That reaction was that serious, Allison. So, but
we coming off a DEI conversation that my blood pressure is up here because I'm so exhausted of the times that we're living in and afraid. And we did a pivot.
I tried to lighten it. So,
all right.
So
my question was, do you celebrate Valentine's Day? What is acceptable? What is not? Do you feel like it going somewhere or whatever? My favorite is like, if you said, let's go get something to eat, I'm good. Let's go get something to eat.
Well, you know what it's going to be. I'm going to tell you what it's going to be. Okay?
Hey, Bootsy.
Because, what is it? Let me see the actual Valentine. What's the date this time? We're working.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do. Now, this is something. Now, this is not super special, but on Friday, do you have anything?
On Friday?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
This is what we're going to do. This is our date. And to be honest, babe, I really did enjoy this. We did this. We've done this a couple of times. We're going to go to our favorite Ethiopian spot and share a plate.
That's what we're doing on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did we do that last time?
See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. Do you see that? Do you see that? This woman is amazing. Allison.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened? I love that.
I know, but
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
fine.
some people you see on social media, people be going through it. Wasn't this another new car and
Mm-hmm. Now, wait a minute. We could get a new car too? What happened?
No.
Okay. Right.
No, sir. Not yet.
Okay. Beverly,
Okay.
let's read Beverly. My husband and I both agree not to waste money on the 14th. Why buy flowers for $100 when you buy the same flowers the day after for 30? We've been together 34 years, so it works for us, and that's all that matters.
You know, that's the secret for you youngins out there, for people who just, just don't make it too complicated. You know, it's not, I call it, some people are high degree of difficulty relationships. Some people have that. I think if you're a high degree of difficulty person, then you have to be married to a person who's a high degree of difficulty. See, that's the thing.
Now, what do you mean when you say a high degree of difficulty?
This is what I mean. Some people, I hate when people say this one, when they say the real person doesn't show up until after you get married. I hate that. When people say that, that's what I think some people, that's the problem. The real person shows up after you've been married. That doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But because we're like-minded in that. We showed up the same person when we were dating.
Yeah, but we also got married a little older.
I think we're 30, what, 32?
30, 31, something
31?
like that. Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying.
I think you are. At that point, you pretty much, I don't know. I'm not going to say you're the person that you're going to be, but I think by 30 or whatever, you're kind of, at least where you want your life to be going. So whatever the partner that you choose kind of fits into that a little bit more clearer, because you are who you are, but you are on the path, or you're going, what you want to be. Like when you're younger in your 20s, it's like you're figuring it out sometimes. And so then maybe as you grow and evolve, the person doesn't really grow in the same direction. So I think for us, it worked. It was a benefit being a little bit older. Yeah.
That's what I mean, babe. So when I say, if you're a high degree of difficulty person, some people are like, okay, we're dating. And it's like, okay, Allison, I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go bungee jumping, and then we're going to go scuba diving. We're going to catch a train to New York, and then have dinner, and then da. So it's like, okay, it's a whirlwind. It's like, wow, right? Mm-hmm. And so then you get married, and we're watching TV, and got a kid.
Right.
So the person's like, what happened to us jumping from buildings?
Well, I think, but I think that there is value in that. Like if that's what you did to get somebody,
yes,
and then you stop doing that.
There we go. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So when they say when the person showed up, no, what happened was you didn't really present yourself that way at first. It's almost like if you're somebody and they are low key. What do you like to do? I really like, what? I'd like to go have a nice Ethiopian thing, whatever. Have dinner together.
Right.
Okay, but you really don't. You really want 5-star and a Mercedes and this and that and a limo, all the time.
Well, so I also think to play the devil's advocate that you are trying to, like, you're in that stage where you're just trying to maybe present your, put your best foot forward, present your best version of yourself, whatever.
Don't do that.
To try to really try to get somebody because you're interested in that person. So, but I mean, it's hard. Like navigating this is hard. Like I hear from people all the time that are single that it's just really difficult because at a certain point you do get more sort of set in your ways, and not even in a negative way. You just know what you're not going to deal with, the boundaries that you're not willing to let somebody step over. And so, yeah, it's difficult. So I don't judge it. It's just difficult.
I remember when I dated this person, and the thing about that person, yeah, celebrate each other. That's right. Valentine's Day is great, but you always celebrate each other, right? This person, I already knew it, babe. I envisioned this person coming home from work and being like, what are you doing? Like almost like judgment, you know what I mean? Like coming through the door.
Now, is this an old relationship? What are you talking about? Okay, all right.
And I was like, so that's why that person, never worked, because in my mind I was like, oh hell no, I would never go for that. When I thought of you, it's as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're who I thought you were.
Because I was who I was at that time.
But I'm saying you never.
I was who I was at that time. And, just don't, like, I feel like I think one of the keys is you can compromise on some things, but just not too much. Yeah. Not too much. Don't give away too much of yourself trying to secure, a love or relationship or whatever, because I just don't think that ever works in the long run.
Because what are you doing? You're setting yourself up for failure.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, but you just want to have love. You're trying to, maybe you were told that you're too this, you're too that. So you just try to be less of who you are to get along with somebody, because, we all want love. We all want to be in these relationships. But at the end of the day, like it always, if you're not serving yourself really first or securing yourself first, it's just, it never works, because you end up being the one to give up too much of yourself. So it's a delicate dance. And for all those celebrating Valentine's Day, even if you got to celebrate by yourself, or if it's a trigger for you for whatever reason, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, because it's real out here with everything that is going on. It is real out here.
One thing I will say that I did I'm an only child though. So maybe that's why I'm an only child. I mean, because I always took care of myself, even with that, when I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
But I think some people don't. You know what I mean? Like some people never do take care of themselves, even when they're by themselves.
Yeah.
Did you take care of yourself?
Yeah, you got to be okay with yourself.
Did you go buy you a nice little meal sometime by yourself and this and that?
I would go out all the time by myself. Like when in this business, you are on the road a lot. Like from my first TV job to the 5 years before I got back home, I was, by myself all the time. And so, and it was fine for me. I would go to concerts by myself. I remember go out to eat, take myself to the movies and all of that. So I think maybe that's the key, the things or the person that you are by yourself, the things that make you happy, the things that you like to do by yourself. When you find somebody, that resonates and vibes with that, then you're really lucky. You're really lucky. And I think that's why we have worked all these years, because I think it helps that we're in the same field.
Yeah.
So we understand the demands of being in the media. You understand how, like the other day when 2 weeks ago, when they had the horrible, and may these souls rest in peace, horrible midair collision over, at Reagan National Airport between the Black Hawk helicopter and the American Eagles flight. When a call comes in, I'm supposed to be at work at 2:30 in the morning, supposed to be, and the phone rings at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it did.
And all I hear is my executive producer, like, heightened because of what's happened, in my ear. There's been a horrible plane crash. They don't know about and you're waking up from a dead sleep, and you have to listen. You have to get your emotions together. You have to, and we're going on early. Come on in. We're going on early. Like, there's no whatever. Only thing you said was what happened. And that was it. Like, you might have even gotten up with me to help me get out the door, but what happened, and you go. So you have you understood that. And the same thing would be true, vice versa. And you understand also the stress that goes along with it, and how I might process that stress. And coming home at the end of the day, when you're on for 7 hours straight, reporting on this huge tragedy with no good outcome. There is no good outcome. And what I need when I come home. So that is, do I like Valentine's Day? Yeah. But do I like every day with the support and the love that you give and the understanding and compassion? Yes, very much more than. And if we don't have that, then I don't really want to hear from you on Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? So that's the other half of it. People are like, every day is Valentine's Day. Okay, yeah. If I don't have the same support and love that I would get on a special day, then you can keep it. So that's what it is. That's what it is. So I just wish everybody, whatever kind of love you're looking for, good luck in that. And if you need to work on the self-love in the meantime, good luck on that too.
Ms. Glover says, save that money and a nice, easy dinner at home. I love it. That's right. That's nice. Look at Cousin Wallace.
Give my wife some chocolates and just gave me the remote. And I'm good. That's it.
Wallace, are you a romantic, Wallace?
You know it works, cousin.
Are you a romantic?
You know what? That's what I'm talking about. Like, to know each other. The gift of somebody really knowing, understanding who you are through and through, and accepting and loving that. That's the best Valentine's Day gift ever. Thank you. All year round. Hey, Jackie. All year round. Okay, babe, that's been about an hour.
Oh, okay.
So you got another topic to talk about? I'm sorry I was late coming down.
No, it's time for us to wrap it up.
Okay.
It's time to wrap it up. Thank you. Anything else? Any thoughts this week?
No, like it's just a really it's a really challenging time. It's a really difficult time to have all this information come in. I asked a licensed therapist. I forget where were we. Okay, was doing a show with Petra. It was the Montgomery County, Maryland alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, and there was a Black History Month program that I was hosting, and it was all about women in the arts. And one of the women on there was a poet, and she was also a therapist. And she said, basically, make sure you take care of yourself during this time, because it's a lot coming through on this thing right here, and it's all the time, and it can be very distressing. But I'm living for the moment where this turns around, and where people wake up and say, no, we're seeing it. We're seeing people in federal workers, basically, some elected officials stand up and say, no, these things, some of the things that are happening are not falling within, they're not legal. They're without outside of the scope of what is, in the president, what the president can do, what can come out of the White House right now.
Yeah.
And so I don't care. It's not even, for me, it's not a political thing. It's just a, it's almost, it's a human thing. Yeah. It's where we are, and it's seeing some of these things roll back. And I just know way too much about history to be able to sleep well at night, seeing everything that is going on. And that's Republican, Democrat, Independent, whoever you are. We're talking about basic rights here. And I think that in a way it's with the attack on DEI. And also, the president has just been unanimously appointed as the chairman of the board at the Kennedy Center. So now we're talking about the arts as well, as far as falling in line with what the agenda is. I'll just say it like that. So just keep your eyes open. And I'm waiting for the moment, like I said, that things start to turn around and we as a country say, no, this is a human right. This is a human right, and this is an attack on that. So I'm here for that moment. And in the meantime, keep your head up.
That's right. Again, that's right. And so
again, the FCC will be investigating Comcast, NBC Universal, and someone else about their DEI policies, as in, did they go against what the administration wants to see for DEI? Just think about that.
All right.
And on that note,
I thought you were going to say lighter, but okay.
And on that note, no, I'm just saying my lighter point is take care of yourself.
Yes,
don't consume too much.
Yes.
Know what's going on, but try not to consume too much of it, because it will really make you just make your head blow off. But I listened to a quote, and I wish we had it to end on, from Dr. King, who was talking about not letting hate, like hate being that, don't ever let your emotions basically get so out of control that you hate, because at that point, like, the enemy, whatever you deem the enemy, has won.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a very powerful thing, to just to not be pulled down and consumed with that feeling of hopelessness and hate and all of that, because at that point you're just as bad as those people who are trying to get those sort of draw that sort of feeling out of you. So
and as Rondi says, support the businesses. Speaking of businesses, one more shout out to one of our sponsors. It's of course Green Energy at 301 Green Windows, Green Energy Windows, 301-873-1773. Give them a call. The number's right there on the screen. And again, support also my new show, the Good News Show with Marc Clarke. And
I love that show. That's my favorite new show.
Shout out to Rondi Griffin, who's our executive producer.
Mm-hmm.
Rondi has not just my show, but multiple shows. On WMAR 2 in Baltimore, and also on the YouTube channel Marc Clarke Media. So go check it out.
Okay.
Support us. Support this podcast and invite us. We'd love to do. We're going to get out. We're going to do some live broadcasts, different places this year. Okay. Not this season. It's too cold. But again, we're still trying to figure out Wednesday, Friday. So we did Wednesday today, and so when we lock it in, babe, Wednesday or Friday, we'll lock it in. We had a really busy February. March isn't as crazy, but then the April. Oh, babe, April
is crazy too.
Yeah, so we'll keep you informed. All right,
that's right. Okay, Friday or Wednesday. Okay. Bye. Love you. Happy Happy Valentine's Day.